The chemical origins of life. What is life? Furthermore, will we find it on other planets? Science is assisting us with sorting out how life began on Earth and is giving us particles to search for on different planets. In this scene of reactions, we separate what life is and that we are so liable to discover it out in the universe. Some of them say life needs cells. Others center around specific qualities, similar to the capacity to adjust to a climate, use energy, and to replicate. Donkeys, which are what you get when you cross a jackass and a pony, they have cells, they use energy, yet they can't replicate. So would they say they are not alive? Is there life on Mars? My point here is the thing that establishes life is somewhat confounded, and surprisingly more muddled when we're attempting to sort out what demonstrates life on different planets. It's presumably not going to resemble this. I will have such countless trekkers, coming after me in the remarks. Sorry. NASA is the principal U.S. organization that is searching for life past Earth, and their meaning of life is a self-supporting substance framework fit for Darwinian development. What's the significance here? Darwinian development says that organic entities shift over the direction of ages in light of their current circumstance, in the long run leading to new species. On account of us people, we developed from different primates, which advanced from different vertebrates, and in the event that you return far enough, you'll arrive at single-celled living beings. The capacity to advance from something to that effect to an undeniable human has to do with our qualities. Furthermore, that is the place where we get into the substance part of NASA's definition. Life can develop in light of the fact that we have this generally steady hereditary code that is passed down starting with one age then onto the next, changing somewhat over the long run. We utilize a blend of DNA, RNA, and protein to keep up that self-supporting compound framework, which means we're ready to do things like process food and mend an injury and replicate, passing on our DNA. Will the existence we find on different planets utilize hereditary material like our own, or will it's anything but a totally extraordinary framework that permits it to imitate and advance? I don't have the foggiest idea how to shrug. However, what we're realizing on Earth is as yet giving us a thought of what compound components to search for on different planets. Carbon, nitrogen, hydrogen, oxygen, sulfur, and phosphorus are on the whole crucial for make the particles that permit us to be here the present moment. Things like DNA, RNA, fats, and the amino acids that make up proteins. Past their significance for life today, what's unfathomable about these components is that, with a smidgen of help, they might have been everything necessary to kick life off in any case, around 4 billion years prior. Back in 1953, physicists Stanley Miller and Harold Urey tried out the hypothesis that early Earth was a hydrogen-rich climate, similar as Jupiter's. Furthermore, that something happened that permitted straightforward mixtures to respond and make more intricate ones. They fixed up a combination of gases and water inside an associated arrangement of carafes. Then, at that point they warmed them and destroyed them with power, mirroring lightning. Following 7 days they discovered amino acids in the water. Okay, we should not lose track of the main issue at hand. Amino acids can't duplicate and advance all alone, however they are what make up proteins. So this was as yet a colossal theoretical advance toward something living. Researchers believe there's a decent possibility that something almost identical is going on, or as of now occurred, on different planets. We've discovered amino acids on shooting stars that have tumbled to Earth, and we're gathering surface examples from space rocks and different bodies to search for hints of the science of life. In 2013, the Curiosity rover recognized natural mixtures in Martian soil. So perhaps, billions of years prior, something almost identical to what in particular occurred here on Earth occurred on Mars. Presently the Perseverance is up there too. It'll be truly cool to perceive the amount more specialists may discover. The instruments locally available aren't intended to distinguish truly complex particles, however 10 years or so from now those examples will cause it back to Earth to be examined by further developed gear, perhaps by a portion of the children that just watched the Perseverance arrival. It's so adorable. In any case, for distant planets that we can't get meanderers to or get tests back from, researchers are utilizing light to attempt to sort out what synthetic compounds may be in their climates and, in view of that, foresee if there could be life. Here's the way that works. When a planet passes before it's anything but, a smidgen of light from that star goes through the planet's air. Synthetic compounds in the environment direct which frequencies are ingested and which ones are not. By estimating these progressions in the star's light utilizing an amazing telescope, scientists can foresee what synthetic compounds are available. That is the means by which researchers discovered phosphine gas in Venus's air back in fall 2020, or if nothing else how they thought they discovered phosphine. Those discoveries have been difficult to duplicate or as yet being discussed, yet when they distributed that paper, a few researchers got truly energized on the grounds that on Earth phosphine gas is generally created by microscopic organisms, which are living. So perhaps there is a Venus type of microscopic organisms that is delivering phosphine, yet perhaps it's coming from something absolutely inconsequential and non-living. Another explanation the entire life on Venus thing appears to be impossible is that Venus is unbelievably dry. On Earth, the science that keeps life going couldn't occur without water. I talked with Dr. Nicholas Hudd, who is working with atoms and conditions accepted to have been available on early Earth, to see how particles can join and bring about things that can duplicate and advance. Also, he's discovered that particles created in manners like what Miller and Urey can self-collect in water and structures that look something like RNA. So it's a good idea that researchers feel that planets with water on them are well on the way to help life. Also, for a planet to have streaming water, it should be at the right separation from its star. On the off chance that a planet is excessively near its star, it'll be hot to such an extent that any water will vanish. On the off chance that it's excessively far from its star, it will be cold to the point that any water would freeze solid. The separation from its star that permits a circling planet to have streaming water is known as the livable zone or the Goldilocks range. It's anything but excessively close, not very far, perfectly. Earth is the lone planet in our nearby planetary group considered inside that reach. In any case, there are moons and what are viewed as bantam planets like Pluto that might have seas under their frozen surfaces, which could permit microorganisms and fish-like animals to live there. So perhaps we're not absolutely alone in our close planetary system. Regardless of whether we are, I actually have uplifting news. Since 1992, more than 4,000 exoplanets, which are planets outside of our nearby planetary group, had been found. What's more, some of them appear to be somewhat encouraging. Inside my lifetime, the revelation of exoplanets greatly affects my perspective on how conceivable it is that life exists somewhere else in the universe. We currently know about great many different planets and some of them seem as though they could uphold life. Searching for different planets that may be inside their star's livable zone seems like our absolute best at distinguishing life. At any rate for the time being. Dr. Hudd is sure that it will occur. Over the long haul, we're simply going to see increasingly more about the synthetic substances that are needed to kick life off. I likewise feel that our capacity to recognize and zero in on the compound species in all likelihood connected with life will ceaselessly improve. I couldn't say whether it will occur in the course of my life, yet I feel extremely certain that individuals will in the long run have the information and the apparatuses that will bring about the discovery of life on another planet in our cosmic system.